G'day everybody, Duckville here for game number 4 from dtG versus NS Hosio from the IPLTAC, the Team Arena Challenge. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but a massive storm has rolled over Melbourne right now. It's been a crazy day. So if things get a little bit weird, that's because the storm has probably destroyed my house. Not really. Yeah, we'll find out what's going to go on here in game number 4, I should say. Sickness been tearing up NS Hosio so far, doing a great job against Tassadar, then against Shuttle, and just before we saw him really easily deal with, you could say, easily dealing with NS Hosio Realmaker. So NS Hosio have brought out one of their slightly more, I suppose it's really hard to say, one of their better players when you mention that Tassadar has been out before, but they have brought out Hoon, who has been a feature player in some of the NS Hosio team battles. He's actually come out in GSTL. He's also been in the Korean Team League, and also, of course, he's been in the ESV Korean Weeklies. In fact, a lot of these guys, if you don't actually know who they are, or if you've never really heard of them before, jump on to teamliquid.net and have a look at the Team Liquid player database, and then you'll be able to find some of these players and see some of the games they've participated in. They've been in such things as the Korean Weekly, and of course those various Korean sort of smaller tournaments that have been run by the ESV team and or it was originally the iCup team, and all sorts of things like that. So if you want to see more of these guys, jump on and have a look, and I'm sure you'll find some more videos of these players. But as we said, Sickness been doing a really good job. He did a really great defense against Tassadar with that very quick 3-gate warp-in build, and then dealing with Shuttle in a very interesting manner, just doing a really nice 4-gate robo push with a lot of sentries to block out the Terran units, and then also getting a good block on the ramp, and then holding off an initial Roachling attack from Realmaker, and then pulling out what was a little bit more longer than what I would have thought. Like, he was in a great position from that whole game. Effectively, once you defend Roachling, you've got the game in the bag. But we'll find out what he's going to do here against Hoon. He's going to be able to scout out what's going on. The probe does go down the Marine, taking care of that guy pretty easily. The refinery up, so he did see that, and there is in fact a very quick factory here. So Hoon may be going for perhaps some Banshees here. I would be very interested to see if he is going to go for that. You can do Banshees off one refinery. It's generally better to have two, so you can get it done quicker, and of course you have the option of getting Cloak out as well. But we'll see if that is going to be the case. Hoon, meanwhile, just scouting out what Sickness is up to. He's found that there are 2 gates. It looks as if this is Sickness's go-to sort of safe build against the Terrans here. He got out 2 gates against Shuttle as well, just to try and make sure that any sorts of early pressure was easily defended. Of course, a lot of Koreans, especially I've found on the Korean server, love to do some really quick 2-rack sort of harassment there. So it's one thing to just make sure you've got to be careful of that, get a couple of sentries out just to make sure you're defending in a really nice position, and then proceed from there. So he's not getting up any extra tech just as of yet. Of course, we'll see if he does put down a robo, which would be right about now, or perhaps he may go for some sort of extra attack. He's got a pylon being placed down here by a probe. I think this may actually catch Sickness out. As I said, okay, no, it's actually going to be some, it looks like a Hellion drop. So Hoon going to try and get some Hellion harassment done here. He's going to get that medevac out as quick as he can, pick up some of these Hellions which are just popping out now. We should have 4 in time for the medevac to pop out, and then he's probably going to head across and try and get some damage done in this mineral line. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if Sickness is prepared to defend against this. As we said, his only information that he got was that there was 1 gas there, so that can lead, of course, to a lot of things that Terrans can do. There is, of course, the magical 111. There are things such as, of course, these various Banshee attacks that I mentioned before, and of course this impending Hellion drop. So we'll find out what Hoon's up to here. He has actually found that proxy pylon. Very unfortunate for Sickness there. Any plans he had have now been thwarted, so he may have been going for that same robo attack there. He does have the robo now completed, so he was supply blocked there just for a moment as well, so that had a little bit of a double effect there for Sickness, losing a little bit of supply, and then of course having his actual plan of perhaps some proxy warp-ins being denied. But here comes the 3 Hellions in the medevac. They're probably going to drop inside, and Sickness should be able to see this. He does have a sentry just sitting there. I'm a little bit surprised he wasn't a little bit more on the ball about that. Losing that sentry straight away. The Stalkers come to the rescue. They won't be able to clean up this medevac, but they have done a little bit of damage to it, so that may think twice before coming back again. Holy crap, I just looked out the window. It is raining like crazy here at the moment. Looks as if the medevac is now going to come up the left-hand side across the cliff. You don't get any vision of this, which is a little bit weird, or you can get a slight amount once it comes to this sort of position. There it is, dropping in the Hellions and getting some probe kills. Will he? Yes, he will. The worker count is getting a little bit thwarted there by Hoon. He's actually doing a great job of taking out. He's got 8 worker kills at the moment here. The medevac in a little bit of a stuck position because he can't actually come out this side. The 2 Stalkers are there. We've then got the Stalker and the sentry as well on this side, but he does manage to escape just out of vision of these few units down here on the ground. So well, he's done a great job here, and it looks as if he will transition into a Banshee Tank Marine combination here. So he's done a little bit of damage. This is a slightly different variation of that 1-1-1, and that is a massive part of why it is such a very damaging sort of build to deal with, because there are so many openings to it. You can have a Banshee or a cloaked Banshee come out and try and take care of your probes like that. You can also have the Hellion droppers we've seen here, and then of course there is the lighter versions which have you know, sorts of more Marines, less Marines, all that sort of stuff, and it's very, very hard to deal with. So Hoon is going to push out with this Tank Marine Banshee force very, very soon. We've got 2 Banshees already out for him at the moment. The medevac's still poking around with those few Hellions as well. Sickness does have a Colossi on the way. He's got 1 Immortal here, and only have we only got those 2 sentries? Is that it? Yeah, he's only got the 2 sentries at the moment. It looks like he's going to try and take the fight to Hoon. I'm not sure if this is the best idea. The tanks can just siege up here and just go to town on everything. But, of course, it's a really good way to try and deal with 1-1-1 is actually to get at it before it gets in your face. So you can actually delay the timing a little bit more, get some more units out. Of course, Colossi are really great against the Marines that are here. But here he comes. It looks as if he is going to start pushing through. Sickness is going to see that this is on the way and get a little bit worried about that. Hoon having to pull back just for the moment. Of course, it's a little bit worrying to deal with a Colossi and an Immortal randomly out in the middle of the field, but Hoon has decided it's time to bring the SCVs into the battle, and they go marching one by one. Here we go. It's starting up. We got the tanks sieging up. The Banshees in the air also doing quite a lot of damage. They're able to deal with the Stalkers very quickly. One of the Stalkers went down quick smart. The first Colossus that was out has already taken a lot of damage. Hoon now having to slow push his way across. He needs to be really careful, but it looks as if Sickness has pulled all the way back. The Colossi now at the top of the ramp. They do not have extended thermal lance. There is no way to get that out in time to deal with this type of attack, and Hoon is just going to slowly push up. I'm not sure if Sickness has the perfect units to deal with this, especially with no extended thermal lance, and the Banshees are just going to go to town on everything here. There are only 6 Stalkers out, and I don't think that's enough to actually deal with this impending attack, and here he comes. It is getting very, very ugly for Sickness right now. He's actually lost that pylon, which actually puts him in a really bad position as well. The unit's now slowly pushing up. Hoon can now put down some bunkers if he needs. He can put down some supply depots to block things, and here he comes. He's starting to attack that robotics facility. He's going to be doing easy damage to that. Takes that down, and I think that is going to be it here. Sickness will probably attempt one last attack. He has very little to sort of bring into the fight here. He did obviously have that pylon there, which was going to be used for that warp-in when he was trying to bring the fight to Hoon. But here he goes, saved up some energy, got a Guardian Shield going. Colossi are now dealing a lot of damage. One off to the side is actually taking some hits from the Banshees and the tanks. Looks as if he will be able to clean up a lot of these Marines and does get through them, but there is just so much for him to deal with after that, and there were the 4 tanks, the 3 Banshees, and still a lot of Marines on the ground, and that is it for Sickness. His reign of terror on NS Hostia is over, and Hoon has done a really good job with just pushing in with that 1-1-1 and just destroying that base quite easily. So we will go into game number 5. The current score is sitting at 3-1. NS Hostia down 1 game to 3. dtG doing a fantastic job, Sickness doing really well there. We'll see who dtG brings out in the next game.